TLC is WWE's last pay-per-view of the calendar year. It involves a variety of matches that focus on tables, ladders, and chairs, or a combination of the three. It is usually a very entertaining event to watch. It can sometimes have a few Match of the Year candidates. So how did this event turn out? Allow me to explain. The first match was on the kickoff show, and it featured the New Day taking on Team Gold Star. The match was fun to watch, and it was a great way to get the crowd amped for the rest of the event. The New Day got the win here, and personally, I want to see the New Day turn heel. I think that would really add more depth to their gimmick, as well as get some traction in getting over with the fans. The next bout was the first official match on the TLC pay-per-view card, and it featured Luke Harper taking on Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. The match was fantastic, and it was a great way to open up the show. There are some really cool ladder spots, and there was some blood as well, which is a rarity for the PG era of WWE. Ziggler was able to climb the ladder first and retrieve the belt, thus becoming the new Intercontinental Champ. Personally, I want to see these two continue to battle it out, as they had some pretty good chemistry in the ring together. What followed was the Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and the Tag Champions, The Miz and Mizdow. The match was okay until the ending, when the Usos got the win via disqualification after The Miz used his Slammy Award as a weapon. Nothing special really happened here, except for the fact that the Usos will probably get a rematch. The only highlight were Mizdow's antics. They were pretty funny, and it really showed how over he is with the crowd. It is only a matter of time before the Mizdow and the Miz part ways and engage in a feud on their own. Next was the stairs match between the Big Show and Eric Rowan, a match in which the steel stairs outside the ring were legal to use. This match was pretty good considering how they had to make use of such an odd weapon. Big Show looked like he might have been hurt legitimately when he took a shot to the ribs from the steel stairs. Despite the injury though, he managed to chokeslam Rowan onto the stairs, followed by a knockout punch to cover him up for the win. I don't see this being the end of this rivalry. I can see it continuing on until at least the Royal Rumble. The tables match between Seth Rollins and John Cena followed. The stipulation for this match was that if Rollins beat Cena, then Cena would lose his WWE World Heavyweight Championship title shot against Brock Lesnar. Joey Mercury and JB Noble kept interfering in the match, and their role kind of reminded me of Patterson and Briscoe from the Attitude Era. Cena had put Rollins through a table, but the referee was knocked out, so the match continued. Later, both Cena and Rollins wound up falling through a table at the same exact time, so the referee had nothing to do but restart the match. Big Show would later interfere in the match and try to assist Rollins in getting the win. However, Roman Reigns would make his return to the ring and assist Cena in putting Rollins through a table. This was a very entertaining match, and it'll be interesting to see how Rollins and Reigns reignite their feud in the next coming weeks. The next match on the card was the Divas Championship match between Nikki Bella and AJ Lee. The match was pretty good, and it ended when Nikki Bella sprayed something into the face of AJ. This led to the Rack Attack and the pin for Nikki. I think eventually Brie, however, will wind up turning on Nikki and will somehow allow AJ to regain the title, possibly at the Royal Rumble. The chairs match between Ryback and Kane followed, and this was by far the worst match of the entire night. It was slow and it was very boring. Personally, I hope these two never cross paths again. Ryback got the win here. What followed was the United States Championship match between Jack Swagger and Rusev. This was a dominating performance by Rusev, as he made Swagger pass out to the Accolade. I think Rusev will hold on to the US title until WrestleMania, when an American wrestler will finally be able to end his undefeated streak. Who that wrestler is though, I have no idea. The main event followed, and it was the TLC match between Bray Wyatt and Cincinnati's favorite wrestling son, Dean Ambrose. This was the match of the night in my opinion, as they battled all around the arena and made great use of the tables, ladders, and chairs surrounding the ring. There were a lot of cool spots too, such as Ambrose dropping an elbow off a ladder and onto Wyatt through a table twice, as well as Wyatt pulling his sister Abigail from out of nowhere. Another cool spot was when Ambrose climbed up an even bigger ladder and dropped another elbow onto Wyatt through the Spanish announce table. The match ended when a monitor exploded into the face of Ambrose, which allowed Wyatt to hit another sister Abigail and cover Ambrose for the pin. I think this feud will continue into the Royal Rumble before these two wrestlers move on to new opponents. Overall, TLC 2014 was a very entertaining show. It featured a lot of cool moments, and aside from the Ryback vs. Kane match, all the other bouts on the card were pretty good. It will be interesting to see how the fallout from this event affects the Royal Rumble and the overall WrestleMania picture.